Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new to my channel, my name is Janice. Welcome. So I'm just about to cook ackee and saltfish. This is the first time I'm doing it, so I will show you all the ingredients I'll be needing. So if you stay tuned. So this is all the ingredients I'll be needing. I'll be needing sweet pepper, onions, tomato, scotch bonnet, 2 cloves of garlic, some thyme, fresh thyme, and some spring onions. So this is what I'll be needing. So I'll chop those up in a minute. Also need some olive oil, like a teaspoonful of olive oil. I'll be needing my ackee. I got this ackee from the shop, a local shop, but you can get the tin bigger. This is just a small tin that I got this time, but you could, if you have a bigger family, you could have a big tin. I also have some vegetable stock pot, so I'll be using about 1/4 of this as well. And I also got my saltfish. This is ACC and CO saltfish, and it's skinless and boneless fillet. So I'm gonna now boil this out because this is very salted. So we need to boil this like for at least give it 20 minutes to boil out, because you have to boil some of the salt out of it, because if you try and cook it like that, it will be too salty to eat. So I'm gonna cook it out maybe even 25 minutes. I'm gonna boil it out for 25 minutes until all the salt come out. If you like your salty, you can keep it in less, but sometimes it can contain too much salt, so I don't like mine too salty, and I don't like mine, it depends on what I'm eating it with. So I'm gonna boil it for at least 25 minutes. So I got a pan of hot water over here, there. So I'm boiling the water. When the water comes to the boil, I will put the saltfish in it and boil it for 25 minutes. So if you stay tuned. So I almost forget black pepper. You need a dash of black pepper in it as well. So now my water is boiled. I'm gonna put my saltfish in for 25 minutes. So I place the saltfish in the pan and let them boil for about 25 minutes, as I said. And while I'm doing that, I'm just gonna explain. I cut up the onion. My onion was a large onion, so I only used 1/4 of it. I cut up some sweet pepper. I use half of sweet pepper. You could use any sweet pepper, red or green, whatever. The scotch bonnet, I just use half of it because this can be really spicy. My spring onion, I use 2 pieces and chop them up. My garlic, I just use 2 cloves of garlic and chop that up. And I got my thyme. I will just throw the thyme in with it. So this is it. This is what I was doing since. And I also done some tomato. Just 1 tomato I chop up, sorry. And also the ackee is Jamaican ackee, and it's tropical sun, and it's in salt water. My saltfish is boiled for 25 minutes now. I'm just about to strain it with use some cold water and wash it, and then piece it up very small. So in the meanwhile, I'm gonna do that now. So I'm just gonna wash it if you stay tuned. I finished straining my saltfish and piece it up. I wash it through with some cold water. But if you still think it's too salty, you could use some hot water from the kettle and wash it through with it. But I just use some cold water and wash out some of the salt out of it. Because you still want to keep some of the salt for taste. So I'm just about now to fry. Sorry, I'm just about now to fry my my vegetables. So I'm gonna fry my vegetable now. I'm gonna put on my. So I put a teaspoonful of oil in the pan. Sorry, I don't know if you can see. Let me hold my video down a bit. Sorry. So I put what you call it, a tablespoonful of oil in the pan. Any oil, olive oil, or it could be any oil, vegetable. So I'm just about to place the onion and all my vegetable in to cook. So I'm gonna put in my onion and I don't know if you could see very well. My onion, my sweet pepper. I'm gonna put my sweet pepper in now. Basically, I'm gonna put in all the vegetables to cook now. And then I'm gonna put the scotch bonnet, the half of scotch bonnet in, spring onion in, and my garlic, 2 cloves of garlic in. I'm gonna leave the thyme for last and the tomato for last. So I'm just gonna fry up these vegetables. 1 minute, I'm just gonna get a strainer. I mean, sorry, not a strainer, saying the wrong thing. Something to stir the vegetables with. So 1 minute. Frying your vegetable, don't let it burn. Let it just on a low heat and let it just cook down for about 3 minutes. Give the vegetable about 3 minutes to cook. Now while my vegetable is being done, I'm gonna open my ackee. And this is what the ackee look like inside, and then I'm gonna go and wash it off, strain it off, and rinse some cold water on it. Because remember, the ackee is already cooked. So basically, you just more or less strain it on there when everything finished cooking. So I'm just gonna go and strain off the ackee. I washed the ackee, I strain it and wash it through with some cold water. Just rinse it a bit. So now I'm still waiting for my vegetables to fry. I'm still frying my vegetables. A little higher. So I'm just letting my vegetable fry for another 2 minutes. You know, I will still let them fry down for 3 minutes. So now, I give my vegetable 4 minutes to cook. I don't want to burn them because they're getting a little bit burnt. So I'm going to turn it down to 3, my cooker, the electric. Now I'm going to add my tomato. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to add my saltfish. Sorry. Make sure you wash the saltfish really well when it come up, because it's still quite salty and you want to get most of the salt out of it. So make sure you wash it really well. So I'm gonna thing the saltfish in there. Give the saltfish about 3 minutes. And then I'm gonna add my tomato to it. So I add my tomato to it. Add my tomato to it. Hope you can see. Add my tomato. And make sure that cook up nice. Give the tomato a few minutes. Let it cook in. I should have chopped everything up a bit smaller, but I just do them all big. But you can chop them up smaller. And then I'm gonna put my thyme in there as well. I'm gonna just drop the thyme in there like that. Fresh thyme. And then I'm gonna use about quarter of the stock, the chicken stock, vegetable stock. I'm gonna use a quarter of that because remember the saltfish is already salted, and some of these things have salt in them as well. They have salt in them, so you have to be careful not to salt your food too much because the saltfish is already salted. So I only want a little bit of that, just to give it some flavor. And then I'm gonna cook that up. So give it in all. By the time you finish everything, I'll say 10 minutes. Let everything cook up. I'm mashing up the tomato a bit in there. Need a little bit higher. Now put the thing back up to, the cooker back up to 4 for now, because it's a little bit too low. And I'm going to put a little tiny bit of black pepper, not a lot of black pepper because it already got the scotch bonnet, so just a tiny bit of black pepper because we don't want it too hot. And then I'm gonna add, in a minute when the tomato cook in a bit more, I'm gonna add my ackee. So I'm just mashing the tomato a bit there, and then I'm gonna add the ackee to it. That looks like it cooked enough to me. Remember, this is my first time I'm trying ackee and saltfish, so I'm trying not to burn it. You have to add the ackee last because the ackee is already cooked. It's just that you have to cook your vegetables and your saltfish basically. So once this done cook and the vegetable all cook up, I will put my ackee in and it's all done. So I'll be cooking this up now and adding, I'll give it another few minutes, and then that will be, give it another few minutes and that'll be it. That's all look cooked now. The tomato is looking cooked. The pepper is looking cooked. Everything is looking like it's done. So I'm just gonna put my ackee in now. This is my ackee, and I'm just gonna place it in. Throw it in the pan. And this is basically it. It's done. So I'm just gonna put the ackee in with everything. Just make sure it's in with everything. Just mix everything in gently so the ackee doesn't be all mashed up. So I'm just gonna place the ackee in with it like that, gently. And this basically is it. I finish. So ackee and saltfish is finished. Ready to eat. So this is my first try and I don't think I done too bad. That looks good. Looks really nice. Look. Looking good. Ackee and saltfish. That's it. It's done. So now I'm gonna serve it. You can serve this with breadfruit. You know the way I show you in one of my videos how to cook breadfruit. You could serve it with fried dumpling. You can serve it with rice and ackee, or you can serve it with bread. But my favorite, I think, is dumpling. I like it with dumpling. And also, I think I will like it with breadfruit as well, breadfruit. But my favorite with it so far, when I eat it in a Jamaican shop, I always have it with fried dumpling. And that is nice to me. So it's all ready. So I'm just going to serve it now. My ackee and saltfish are all done, and I have some dumpling I make earlier on, fried dumpling, and looking delicious. So thank you all for watching my channel. Don't forget to subscribe or leave comment in the box below. Thank you. God bless. Bye. See you soon.